So 1, 2, 3, test, test, test. So 1, 2, 3. That sounds great. Perfect. So I should be online right away. Let's check quickly my channel, but that should do the trick. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode here on the live stream session here on YouTube and Flutter Explained. It's great to have you. We want to talk a little bit today about a fantastic topic that Minu and Deepak showed me today, or better, Deepak had the idea, and it's called ScaffoldMessenger. And the ScaffoldMessenger seems to be something that lives currently in master and comes to us sooner or later, and we want to discover what it is, why we can use it, and I want to also learn how it is actually used. So ScaffoldMessenger is today our topic. Before we start the stream, thank you as always very much for all your support. It's fantastic to have you all the time, and it's great that you are all here already. I'm switching always between Twitch and YouTube, and I know it's bad for the algorithm, it's bad for you guys because you cannot plan with that, but I have to be honest, I can't plan with it either. I just try a bit around which works best for me. And at the moment it looks like I'm coming back to YouTube because I have a short question to you guys. All of you said, hey, come back to YouTube, make some streams here, and I'm back. All right. So if you have any questions regarding Flutter, Dart, development, or any other topic, leave them in the chat. I read it right away here on the side. And in general, we want to take a look today in this ScaffoldMessenger. And the cool thing is, it is a new breaking change to the snack bars. And the cool thing about that, or my hope for that, is before we use the ScaffoldMessenger, we had to actually always wrap our widget sometimes in a builder or in any kind of a thing that gives us a context in order to find the next scaffold in the widget tree. The problem with that was that if we were somewhere in the widget tree in between, we lose the context of the scaffold maybe. Maybe we make a route switch and so on and so forth. And all these problems ScaffoldMessenger seem to solve for us. And in order to test that and to play a bit around with that, first we have to do some configuration stuff. And as you know me, whenever I make my live streams, I am well underprepared. So most likely I will have not Flutter upgraded yet. So let's begin with that first. So Flutter upgrade, or better, switch the channel of Flutter currently to master. Or do we have actually FVM installed? Then we can save us some time. No, we have some problems with that at the moment. All right, so setup. Let's begin with FVM and let's see if we can fix that first before we start something new. So we go to the pub global and activate that. And this is Flutter pub global, of course. All right, so some downloads. You know that drill. Whoever follows my channel knows how bad I am with newest versions of something. So let's see where we are currently. So Flutter FVM, list releases, use version, FVM version. Okay, so that looks good. So let's see if we can go to Flutter, use master. Run the FVM at the root of the Flutter project or use force to bypass this. At the root of a Flutter project. Okay, because I'm not at a Flutter project at the moment. So we need to create a new project, which I'm doing at the moment in IntelliJ. If you have better suggestions for that, please let me know. Okay, so let's go. ScaffoldMessenger is our topic today. Sneak peek. And yeah. In the meantime, I can tell you some stuff about what I want to do in general with the Flutter stuff in the next couple of days. We got a like. Thank you for that. Fantastic. All right, so macOS. So we are already on a master channel. That's also good. Must be a better Dart case. That's true. ScaffoldMessenger. I don't know, sneak peek. And then let's create us the project. And because we are on the master channel, we automatically create also a macOS part, so we can directly work on macOS, which is usually a bit faster, and that's why I like it so much. Okay, so we've got that, and I think I can put that a bit on the side, and I see right now the right frame it is. So let's unlock that. Yeah. So can move myself a little bit around. Perfect. So if you have any suggestions, the to-do list and everything that I had on Twitch is unfortunately not possible here on YouTube. There, everything is a little bit different. So we will have to check out for the next streams how we go with that topic. Okay, but for now we can start up macOS, the main.dart. As you know, this will be our default tutorial or our default project at the beginning. We can start up everything and upgrade maybe Flutter in the meantime. Oh, that's maybe not a good idea to do both at the same time. That could lead to big problems. I think I kill that one and make Flutter upgrade. Yeah, so these are some exciting news again on Flutter's side, and it's really great that Deepak and so on had the idea to discuss that, because with that I got a fantastic topic for today. Shiva Kumar, hey, do you know how to use tab bar view under single child scroll view? I think so, I guess. I have never tried it yet, or never needed to use it. Okay, but how should that be? Inside of a scroll, you want to have a tab bar inside? Yes, I read comments, Shiva. Additionally, in the meantime, when I have the Flutter upgrade running, usually I make sit-ups or how do you call it? Push-ups in the meantime when I'm upgrading. So, but if you have comments. Let's see. So you want to have a tab bar view. Let's have a look. Default tab calculator. All right, create the components for it. So let's see. Okay, so you would have like this, but you want to have it in a scroll container. And that means you want to have that scrollable and this view item in the top, I guess. Hey Deepak. Hey Rakshit. Ankit. Wow, now it's getting started. You can show me your code's getting difficult, I guess, during the live stream, but maybe afterwards you can send me on Discord or on Twitter, and then I will have a look. This is okay. No worries, Deepak. I already introduced you and mentioned you from the Discord channel with your fantastic information about the ScaffoldMessenger. So I thought this would be a perfect timing to create a live stream for that. Wow, so many people. What happened today? Seemed to be some interest since the 30 days of Flutter, huh? Who's participating in that? Someone there? Yeah, upgrade. I'm sorry. Really, I should do that better. I think we should get me a challenge or something. So if I'm coming unprepared with an unupgraded Flutter version, I have to do something weird. At the moment, my hair needs a cut. Maybe this could be something, or I have to let it grow and I'm not allowed to go to the barber. So if you have there any good ideas, leave them in the comments. So, but in the meantime, we can have a look inside of the documentation. And if you check out the documentation here, and now I have to do something because I cannot send you the links anymore via this. So I have to think about it. Maybe I can do the following. I will send it here in the channel. Stream for everything, indeed. And, or you can just search for it. I don't know. Search still for the best solution. So what I will do is opening up Chrome, I guess. So that I don't hear myself twice or something. To be very careful with that. Oh, there it is. So let's see, going here, send that, and here we go. So from now on, we make that small. And where is the Discord link? Good question. I think down in the video description I added it. Else I would ask Deepak or I can add the link here also. Oh, you see, it's a live stream with everything. So I think I can invite people here, and then we get, this one is leaving in 1 day. Läuft never, can be used no limit, new link, getting a copy. And going back to Chrome and send it. Here you can join with Discord. Whew. All right, so we got that, we talked about this, and now back to the documentation. In the meantime, Flutter has been upgraded, which is fantastic. So exactly, so we had this snackbar part, and if you know snackbars, they are a little bit tricky. They give you the possibility to show some messages somewhere, and without a context to the scaffold, it was not possible to use. And actually, there were some packages who tried to avoid this, or you had to create a lot of code in order to make this possible. Now you have the possibility with this fantastic new possibility of the ScaffoldMessenger to add a snack bar everywhere, and it will search its context itself. And even if you change the route, you can read here, when presenting a snack bar during a transition, so if you move from one scaffold to another, it will get a hero animation. So it will stay on the screen and will not behave very weirdly. ScaffoldMessenger, yeah. Oh, you're right, maybe I... Perfect, so let's change the stream name. You are absolutely right, ScaffoldMessenger. Thank you. Don't want to make any mistakes with that. So there will be also a migration guide, and as you see, I think here was also somewhere the timeline, indeed. So it is currently landed in 1.23, but it is not yet in stable. So if you search in the stable release branch, it will not be there. So it will still take some time to bring it inside of the real Flutter implementation in the stable channel. But for us as the masters, and I think we are in 1.26, so we are quite high, I think we can also do the Flutter beta or dev channel where it also be included. I would recommend FVM in general, so I have also installed it, but as you see, I have some problems with it because I get always these cannot load kernel stuff. So it's a bit unfortunate. But what I would recommend in general is that you go to the place where you currently work at. So for example, at my place, it's in the IntelliJ. I open up the terminal, and here inside you can then just say use master. But as you see, I have the problem here with that command not found stuff, and I would have to reinstall it, I guess, in order to use it. It's a bit unlucky, but yeah. Okay. Wow, really active chat today. I'm really happy with that. Thank you everyone that you joined here. So let's have a look how we can start. So first of all, you know, the main.dart. A lot of boilerplate that we don't need, so get rid of a lot of documentation, and I think we can also get rid of all this my homepage stuff. We don't need that here, and just create our own. So I think we can keep it for now. And what I want to create is actually a directory with screens, and here we would have like, let's start with a homepage screen or home screen, where we have a stateless widget, home screen, and we can start here. Let's import the material and let's get started. So in our main.dart, we replace this, get some errors away. Very good questions. Thank you, Nabil. Well, I do now Flutter for 2 years, roundabout. And before I was a web developer, and even now I'm still more or less a web developer for a lot of customers. So I'm working mostly with React and Angular beforehand, and always was a big fan of TypeScript and everything. And I searched for a better alternative where I don't have to mess so much with different typing problems. And now I'm stuck with Flutter and I love it. Shiva, we can talk about your code, but after the live session. Just send it via Twitter or via Discord, and then I can help you maybe. Or if you go to the Discord channel, all the other people can help you too. So that would be fantastic. Sorry for that. All right, so next step. We have our app. We can let the app running, but one problem seems to be I cannot change here to macOS anymore. Flutter master? No, Flutter channel is on master, right? Yes, indeed. So let's see in the settings why my Flutter version is weird. Yep. So we are here on tools. We are on the Flutter master. He understands that. Really weird. So let's restart that one. I wanted to try Angular Dart actually beforehand, but it was more or less dead when I started with Flutter. As you see, the Angular Dart project has not so much support anymore since Flutter came out. And I saw that with the 4 months and so on, and since then it's getting staled and there was not so much activity. And with that, I wanted to start actually because I liked Dart as a language. But then, yeah, Flutter came along and I thought, let's go into Flutter and take my look there. All right, so in order to make this messenger happen, I guess we will need some kind of scaffold, right? And then we have to write this show snackbar. And beforehand, I want to create how it was done before with this builder. Here is already the change. Perfect. So we can try and recreate that. So if you think about it, we had this scaffold, right, with a body, and inside of that we have a container, for example. And if we want to now call inside of this container, we have a child, for example, or let's work first with just an app bar. I think that will be easier. So we use an app bar, and in this app bar we have actions, right? So like an icon button, and inside of this icon button we have an icon with icons dot, I don't know, plus or add. Yeah. And on the end press method, we wanted to show now a snack bar whenever we click it. So, and here we go. Yeah, good question. No, I don't use Flutter for web projects at the moment. I use it mostly for mobile projects or desktop projects, because for desktop it is incredible. I really love it. And if I compare it with UWP, which I tried a lot, or with Linux applications or C# or C applications, I'm really happy with it because it have everything that I need, but also the lightness and speed of the web programming, which I really liked. What is the benefit of IntelliJ? Actually, there is nearly no benefit. The only benefit is actually that I can work in IntelliJ with all the smarts that the JetBrains framework offers, and I can also work in pure Dart projects, which I do from time to time. But there is, other than that, not really a benefit of that. So you should be fine with both. Okay, in the meantime, I can also start up the application. So, and as you see here now, beforehand, before we started with the ScaffoldMessenger, the idea was that we now search for the scaffold itself and for the context, right? So scaffold dot off, I think. Then we have to pass in the context, and now we can show or snackbar was it? I think show snackbar. If you see that now crossed through, that is because it's deprecated after this new ScaffoldMessenger update. I just do it now to show you how it was done beforehand. So don't repeat that on master anymore, okay? So inside of this show snackbar, we create a snackbar, and here we can create a content, which is our text. Hello world, for example. So. Oh, sorry for that caps problem, Ali. Is there I hope it was not important. Sorry for the announcement problems and everything. I know it is not connected via Discord at the moment on YouTube. But I think it's also better for you, Minu and Deepak, because now you can see the fantastic membership parts that you have on the green side, and it's worth it. Because thank you so much again for the support. I really appreciate that. Can really need that. Really helps me stay motivated. I'm really curious how the shorts will work in the future, because I hear now that they give a fantastic boost to everything, so I should try that. So I really hope that they do something useful. Okay, so we have here now this deprecated show snack bar. And now we have two problems. Let's see. First of all, where is our button? We cannot see it because of the debug flag. So let's hide this debug flag. False. Good. So you can see we have this plus button. We could also do that with a fab button, like this button down here, but I think up here is fair. So, and now we come to a very weird crash. If I click now on this, the application crashes. And the idea or the problem behind that is, if you see, we ask inside of here for the scaffold of context. So it searches inside of the build context for the next scaffold that surrounds the whole thing. And as you can see, this scaffold, unfortunately, lives inside the context yet. So it is not part of the build context yet. So the context that we receive up here has no information at all about this scaffold. So this part here is crashing at the moment because the context itself does not contain a scaffold. And if you know this, the next step is, okay, how can we avoid that? And the idea always was to surround the next widget on top of it with a builder method or with a builder. So we had to wrap this with a builder. And as you know, maybe the builder gets an input, and this is a so-called builder, callback. And the funny thing about a builder context is that you always get a build context, and we can now execute. Sorry, I have to write that a little bit better, I guess. So, and I think one of them has to be go. Oh, I think I do a bit too much stuff. So let's make that smaller, slower. So we have a builder, and yeah, better. So, and this builder here returns now this widget. Yep. And now we should be fine. With that, we surrounded now in our widget a builder widget, which has now the builder with the context. And the funny thing is, this context now contains all the different widgets that are above that. So it contains the information about the app bar, and it contains the information about the scaffold. So this part here will now work because inside of this context now, so this context, a scaffold of exists. So if we press again, we can see our snack bar is shown with the scaffold. So a lot of chat. Use snackbar, you can use the Flutter toaster package. Yeah, but if I'm doing this, I have to use a package, right? We don't want to do that. Or we try to avoid it, or I try to avoid it in that case. Fantastic. Default widget, exactly. So it's just the idea here. And exactly, perfect. So exact. So the problem also is this builder part. And to be honest, it is hard to understand. It's super hard to grasp why I need to create a builder surrounding all of it again. So what is the solution now? The new approach is the ScaffoldMessenger to show the snack bar. In this case, the builder is no longer required and provide a new scope with the build context that is under the scaffold. So what that means is, as you see, we have now the scaffold, and on this on tap, there is no surrounding of a builder. We just search for this, and it seems that it directly works as intended. So we want to try that as next. So let's head over back here and let's see what we have here. So we can remove all of that actually. And inside of this on pressed, we can also get this back and remove this builder. Yep. Perfect. So, and in our onPressed method, we will now use this ScaffoldMessenger. And I think it's off context. So, and the difference is now that this ScaffoldMessenger is not looking anymore inside what is on top of it. It will look inside of it and has this scaffold inside. I think so. Hey Naive, nice to see you. Hot build login and register pages with MongoDB with Node.js. That sounds like a fantastic idea. I will add that to my open video list if this is okay for you. Maybe I am doing that right away, or you can send me on Twitter, then I will not forget that. All right, so now it seems that the scaffold is inside of this context, or it will understand how it works here. So the next idea is to show the snack bar, where we create a new snack bar. And here we have our content again. So this could be a text, for example. Hello world. Up. So let's see if this works. So we lost the builder and the scaffold, and this works actually. Yeah, I can completely understand that Firebase is not for everyone. I'm also pretty heavy loaded with it. Sometimes very good, but sometimes it can be also very expensive very quickly. All right, but as you can see, we get now the scaffold. It works as intended, and we have a lot of less code. And I think for everyone who comes new to Flutter, and reading of this is absolutely understandable. Why I need to surround it with a builder is not. So I think that makes a lot of sense for everyone. AWS is best. Yeah, I think also Google has a fantastic model for cloud computing, but I think it's still unbeaten by AWS, right? Okay, so during a transition, we'll complete a hero animation, moving smoothly to the next page. So, and this is the next part that I want to try. So that we create two scaffolds, I guess, two pages, and we want to route from one page to another, and we want to see if this snack bar behaves like a hero animation. So for that, I want to create a second screen, which I call very intelligent second screen. So I was again very creative with my names. So second screen, we import the material part, we get a scaffold here, oops, a scaffold here, and inside of the scaffold we have a body that shows a container with, I don't know, maybe a child, text. Everything is perfect today. Getting ready with that, and now here we are. So if we check out this again, now we have to make somehow a transition, right? So we have to navigate from the home screen to another screen. So let's take a look here. So we need inside of this scaffold, I will create a body. Let's take a column for that. Or do we need one? Not sure. Let's take a raised button, is it? No. How do you call the new raised button? I think this is deprecated, so that will be elevated or elevated button. Exactly. So, and inside of this button we have a text. Navigate to the next screen. Wow, the chat is going wild today. Okay, trending codes. Hey, nice to see you. E-commerce business. What about hosting a, I don't know. Queryless. Okay, so there is currently a lot of discussion about databases, so have fun with that. GraphQL is good instead of RESTful APIs. Yeah, I think GraphQL has a lot of benefits that it can offer to us, and I really hope that this will really be the future. Okay, let's go further with that. So actually, why do I need a button to navigate? Anyway, now I have created it already. So navigator.push, we have the context, material, page route. And hey, thank you for, wow, thank you, Mohammed. That's fantastic. So what you can see there is a super sticker, I think. I wish to join as a member and support, but I don't have credit card and recurring to payments. So doing whatever I can. Fantastic. That's absolutely fine. Believe me, I'm really happy with everything I can, that I can get, and every help that you do is more than I'm expecting to. And also, if you join our Discord, it will be also supportive, because as you see, such live streams like this today just happens if we discuss this stuff. And I think I'm having a ear for every member who's in our community. And that's Flutter community, right? We love each other. So now that was different. Now I have to think about a second. What do I do here? So I want to make the material page route builder. So we get a context, right? And this should return us the next screen. So second screen. Happy. Fantastic. So because we can use this method all over the place again, I'm doing the following. I take it and I go to the second screen, because the second screen should inform me how to navigate to it. So I create a static method, navigate to second screen. And inside of this method, we get the context, which is a build context. And inside of here, we want to navigate. Good. And if I go now to the home screen back, I can call the second screen and say navigate to it. And context, and done. I haven't linked the Discord link. I think I added the Discord link somewhere, but okay, let's create one more. So I invite people. I get this, invite people, never, new link, go, and we go to the, I think on Chrome I have it currently. And here I can edit the video. And now I edit somewhere. So now you see the deep dives into the whole YouTube part. Oh, really? This is the wrong description here on the chat. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, you know what? Then helpful links. The Discord is here now. Let's save this first. And for the next live stream, I promise I will update everything. I really have to do that. But it's in the chat. All right, so now it's in the description. Still, not good channel talking like that, but I see Flutter explained in details. Okay. I get a lot of noises at the moment, so I think we get a lot of echoes or something. What is happening? Take a look here. Oh, we have new subscribers. Oh, sorry for that. I'm looking the whole time where the noises come from. Minu, now we have to put 2 or 3 or 4. No worries. It's a community, so we can all join, right? Okay, so but now we can navigate here. And I see already a problem. We cannot navigate back, so let's create quickly an app bar. App bar, and I think that should do already the trick. Fantastic. So click and we go back. Fantastic. So. Thank you. Yeah, I'm getting famous. It's still a bit burden because I don't know how it feels to be famous. I got a talk with Simon Lightfoot the last time on a live stream and also inside of the Slack channel. And I think for the Flutter 30 days, I got invited for one of the talks, hopefully. So maybe we'll see us there too. Okay, so let's see how the snack bar behaves. I click here on the plus button, I go to the next screen, and as you see, the snack bar stays. And if you think now this is absolutely normal and this is how it should be, let's switch again here on the whole part. So as you see, we have this snack bar, snack bar, and I click here and it's still there. So if I change this behavior now here from this here to our builder, where we create the builder again with the context. No. Wait, keep that inside, take the whole icon button, bring that in and return it. So, good. So now we have again the snack bar inside of this scaffold, and we search again for the scaffold, which is deprecated. But if I go now and I show the snack bar and I go to the next screen, it's gone. It's just overwritten. And with that was always a big mistake, a big issue. If you maybe remember the electrical app that I had, there I had like a revert function. So I want to make it possible to click a button. So the only solution that I had was to create one big screen that contains a scaffold with all the child pages inside of this scaffold in order to make it possible to see this snack bar everywhere. All right. So I cannot show you how much excited I am about this change, and I really hope you can understand why, because it saves so much time and it makes it so much easier to explain how to use a snack bar and what you want to have for benefits from it. So yeah. Oh, now it's crashed. How do we start? Show me again. Yeah, fantastic. We'll be back. All right. Context and build context. Yeah, sure. The easy answer is there is actually none. So the build context is the type that we want to use, right? And the only thing is we set it into a variable called context. Inside of the build context, you find a lot of different things. As you see here, if I Command B inside of the build context, you see the documentation of Flutter. So if I make this a bit away, you can see here a lot of things that are written and explaining the whole build context in general. But the easy thing, or the most important thing that you need to know, is that the build context contains information about the widget tree, and also, about the widget tree, about its parents, about its descendants, and also how to build everything. So the build context is vital for Flutter because in it you have the most information about your application at the moment. So if you change something here, it's inside of the context. If you maybe know the different state management tools like Provider, Riverpod, and so on and so forth, you will see that they use usually the context in some way. And the reason for that is because the context contains already so much information. And the idea is to bring more like state inside of this context because it's anyway shared across the application. So I hope that was a little bit helpful or understandable in that case. Cool. So if we open up this Dartpad DevTools, how does our app look like at the moment? So we have our material app with the home screen and the second screen. And ooh, here has done some improvements since I have worked the last time with it. Fantastic. Love it. So yeah, so you see here is our first scaffold that contains all the different parts. And here's our second scaffold. And all that is living inside of the build context actually. So the build context know exactly about all these widgets and can work with them. Do we have anything informative? Logging? Do we show something? Nah, that's all good. All right. Good. But now with that new knowledge, yeah, I think that's already everything for this live stream. If you want to know more, we can go to the next step, I guess. But for you as an information, the ScaffoldMessenger is a fantastic new tool that I highly recommend. And maybe one important thing next is if you have an application that works at the moment with the scaffold of context, with the show snackbar, hide current snackbar, remove snackbar, and so on, the only thing or nearly everything that you have to do is actually to change to a ScaffoldMessenger of context. So with that, you have done already most of the work with it. And as you see, it also behaves exactly the same. If there is a key specified, can be directly accessed without first obtaining it with the build context via scaffold off from the key. Use global current state getter. Okay, so if it has a key, you can do that. You can create a ScaffoldMessenger with the key. Okay. providing a key to the ScaffoldMessenger. This way can be directly accessed without first obtaining a build context from the key. Use the global current state getter. All right. So as I said, I really hope that soon the 123 arrives and we can take maybe a look where we are at the moment. So if we check the Flutter GitHub repository, we will see inside of the tags. And here usually we have all the different ones, and we are currently at 122.6, right, with all these informations. And that means we are just 0.4 away from the release of it. So 123 could also include this new feature. Yeah. Do you have any questions regarding the topic, or do you want to see anything else that we should work in? Maybe you have some ideas what we can do the next half an hour or something, so we can just switch the context there. Yep, and just quickly check. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, maybe what we can do is fixing one of my older applications that uses the app bar, because I had to think about the electricity app in the meantime. The question is, where does it live? I think, do I have it actually? Flutter Fire, Flutter WebSockets? No, not really. I think we have to go somewhere. Yeah. On the other hand, I think, you know what? Why should I do it too much long? I think we have done the most stuff. More on level of context in the widget tree. Level on, okay. So if you search for the build context in general, you will see that there is a lot of documentation regarding the whole thing. And the good thing is, as I said, the build context contains a lot of information. Another part that it contains is, for example, your theming. So if you want to have colors and so on and so forth, you can set that as a theme. And because the context includes all the information of the different widgets, you can have a theme part that it contains all the information. And with that, with theme.off context, you can get this information. Yeah. How to use module and use it in many times for any application, rather writing it again and again. Modules, good question. Flutter modules, is it something that okay. So a module is if you want to use it inside of oh, I have to read more about this topic, I think, before I get started. But what I do is the same thing as I always do. If I don't know a topic, I will add a task for that in the future. But what this does, or what I think it does, it includes Flutter parts inside of an Android application that exists already. That looks pretty cool. So you have this part, you can implement everything. Yeah, the biggest problem here will be for me that I don't have an Android application, a pure one. Community integrate automatically with Android. Flutter can be embedded in existing Android channels. Yeah, cool. So I will take a look here and maybe I create a video for that, because I think I have to first read it and really understand what I have to do here. And I cannot say you more than just read the documentation, sorry. Why the size of Flutter develop app is bigger? That is a very interesting question, Atif, but most of the time you use the nice little Flutter hot reload, right? Hot reload and so on and so forth. And you have also access to the dev tools that shows you all the different widgets in their state and informations about it, how it is aligned and so on. And all these necessary meta information for us developers to make fast decisions like here, or like debugger information that is in the chat or in the console, or other information that are not necessary for production are inside of your Flutter application during the debug mode. So whenever you do something in debug mode, everything is somewhere collected. So to see, for example, this performance metrics, or to see the inspector here with all its elements, this is only possible because we are currently in a debug mode, because then you get this information. And that's why the Flutter application for debug is usually way bigger. Wow, hey, whoa, 50 users. Hey everyone. So many people, what are you doing? What a crazy Monday. It's amazing to have you all. Okay, let's go next. What's the next question? What is everyone's preferred package for state management? Ooh, I think you open up a very big topic, fruit star, because I think state management has a lot of fanboys, and for myself, I really like to work with Redux or Gedit, and both are at the moment my favorites, but a lot of people love Provider. Riverpod is fantastic. And yeah, as I said, there are a lot of different things. To move on learning and become professional in Flutter, don't stop learning. Flutter lives from its community. So first, I would recommend you search a community. Search people who are in your level of confidence in development and try to work on a project with them. Support yourself and take a look into the GitHub repository. Learn from knowledgeable people like Simon Lightfoot or people who are working directly in GitHub itself. I think Remy Roslet is also very important. Tadas. If you take a look on my GitHub feed, you can see I follow a lot of people that are just inside of Flutter. Also, if you are searching for communities, you have, for example, May, who creates fantastic things for the Flutter community and so on and so forth. So check out the different repositories, like from the Flutter community, and I can share the links maybe if I'm talking about it. It's so difficult today. So sorry for that. So I make that silent and share that link. So this is the Flutter community, or you can take a look into, what is the other part? The Flutter repository itself. Because if you take a look into the deeper repositories and learn from the code and also talk with people who are working there, you get so much better information about the whole part, and you understand also the challenges that you have to work in. My general idea of learning Flutter, I always align at the Flutter roadmap. There is a good one, and Alexa, exactly. So he created this opinionated Flutter roadmap, which I really liked and I followed myself. And that helped me a lot to come into the place where I am at the moment. So I also share this here. Oh, Mahtab is also there. All right, so what's next? Let's talk about the future. Any advice? Move on learning. Exactly, so that we have done. The next part is the future of Flutter. Well, the future of Flutter, well, what should I say? We saw some troubles in the last couple of weeks, I guess, when we had the problems with the newest version of iOS, right? And Flutter will have always the problems that it is not completely native. So for mobile, I see a very big potential in web because, well, Dart and web would be amazing. It would be such an improvement depending or in comparison to JavaScript or TypeScript. I know TypeScript is also typed. I know TypeScript has all the features, but let's be honest, it's not very good. I don't know. I cannot. Well, TypeScript still allows you to do JavaScript pure. It gives you all the opportunities to hack it somehow. And with Dart, you don't have these possibilities. You are in a type system, and I love type system. And it's very hard to get rid of that. What do we have else? Yeah. So where do I see the future of Flutter? I personally see a very bright future for Flutter. That's because I believe that, for example, things like Fuchsia from Google, which I can also show you, Fuchsia from Google, is not yet published, but as you know, maybe there are some images that have been told us, and it seems that Flutter or Fuchsia will work pure in Flutter. So if you have a Flutter application, it will work right out of the box in every Fuchsia application. And Fuchsia will be an OS that should replace or can replace, for example, Windows, Mac OS, and so on and so forth. But also on the IoT, so Internet of Things level, it could also change the behavior of your, I don't know, water boiler and everything, and you can have it on your fridge at the end. And that means you have a full potential of Flutter in this Fuchsia part. And I think if Fuchsia is a success, what I hope, then Flutter will be right out of everything. And also if Flutter Web will be a success and will get rid of the performance issues that it has at the moment, it can be also a very big success. What do we need at the moment in Flutter? In my opinion, we need more developers who create beautiful things. Because if you search, for example, for a CSS template or CSS template design button, you will find millions and millions of stylish CSS buttons that I can just copy and paste outside. It doesn't take even seconds to find a cool demo that I can take. And you see, you come to CodePen, you can directly copy it, you have everything. And this is what is at the moment missing in Flutter, I guess. If I'm searching for Flutter template design buttons, yeah, material design, okay. It's beautiful, of course, but it's not customized as CSS at the moment. So I think this is a thing where I hope that Flutter is getting better in the future. Also animations. I hear a lot that animations are very performant and very good to use in Flutter, but I see a lot of companies still struggling working more and more with animations, and it would be amazing to have a set of developers who are really dedicated to bring new features like animations into buttons, into how things behave and so on and so forth. Okay. So much to the future. If you have more questions to that, I'm more than happy to talk about that. What do we have else? Rude guy, newbie in Flutter dev, but background is Python and Node.js. So you come also from a complete, I know Python has now a typed system. I don't know how you work in Python, but yeah, the biggest difference will be the typed language. Everything else should be pretty fine for you, I guess. Would love to talk with you, sir. Yeah, let's go. I have Twitter. You'll find that down in the video description below, and Discord and LinkedIn. And the only thing that I don't have is Facebook, and WhatsApp is currently also out of the books. Sorry. People don't like to read. Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to read, but sometimes I get tired. I know exactly what you mean. But for the roadmap, it's good because you can just follow along. So if you see the roadmap for Flutter from Alexa, he don't really explain everything. He just goes through different topics. So if you take away from this text on the side, you can just take one topic. So the basics are, for example, dev environments. And because I have on Thursday my 12 ideas to improve as software dev, one of the ideas is to know your tools. And this part here belongs exactly to that reason. So understand how Git works. Sorry for that. That was not good. So know how your tools work. Understand really how your IDE is working, what is beneficial there, how it is working, how you get as best as possible. Know your shortcuts, you know. If you don't know it from Android Studio, there is a key map reference up here. You will find it underneath of so if you go to IntelliJ, you find underneath of help, you find the key map reference up here. And what it is actually all the shortcuts that you can use in your IDE. And now you see it for Mac because I work on a Mac, but you can also get it for Windows if you are on Windows. And the good thing about this thing is you really understand all the shortcuts and you are way faster on the keyboard than you are on the mouse, for example. If you take then the next step, you get, okay, Flutter CLI. It is very important to understand how you execute all these Flutter commands, right? Like Flutter upgrade, Flutter doctor. What are there else? There are so many keywords like Flutter build or Flutter create. And if you haven't have problems, how you can solve it, like Flutter clean, right? All this stuff is important to know. And don't forget, CLI doesn't mean anything. It's just a command line interface. So everything that happens inside of a terminal. Okay, then Git. Yeah, I think Git is self-explanation because Git is one of the most important things today, right? Then the language itself, like Dart. If you take a look and go very low in my live stream or video sessions, you will find the live stream in, I guess, when I started with Flutter. Let's have a quick look. It's pretty dark here. So if you go to my channel, and now let's have this fun. I guess if we go to live, no, not live now, that makes no sense. Past live streams, and we go very low to my very first. And this was in German actually still. And if you go to, for example, this login UI part, and make myself silence, you will see how many mistakes I'm doing and how much stuff I'm doing wrong and so on and so forth. So the most important stuff is to stick with it, try around, learn things by reading documentation and so on and so forth. And to say you are too lazy to read is a very big problem because in development you will have to read always, right? Okay, so what's next? Subjective. Let's move to TypeScript, guys. No, don't do that. Please don't move to TypeScript. Really, don't do it. I worked my whole day at TypeScript in my different projects, and just drive crazy. Well, I like Fruit Star. I have to get a better name for you, Fruity. So Fruity asks, what is my opinion about design tools like Adobe XD? I would love to be a designer myself, but I'm really bad at it. Thanks to Stefan, is Stefan in the chat? Oh yeah, he is. Hey Stefan. I started with Figma, and since I started with Figma, it's amazing. I really love it. You can work as a team, you have a lot of features there, you can copy. I think I had also installed the local version of Figma, but I couldn't find it anymore. So let's see if I have my account ready. No, is it the other one? Okay, too much work. But Figma is really great because you can design, prototype, and also this design to Flutter is working there. What do I think about these translations? Well, they are not perfect, of course, but if you create small components and use these small components to transfer them into your Flutter project, you cannot do something wrong. First, you save some time because you have to create everything new. That would take time. And if you have, for example, buttons that you want to animate in a specific way, it would be great if you first create the base version in a design tool like Figma and then transfer it to Flutter because it is really fast. And if you watched my video about Adobe XD to Flutter, there I introduced you to the possibility to transfer that stuff. So how you can create all these different things, and there I also give the opinion what I think how it will behave in the future. But so many languages have tried to take on the web. You practically can't replace JS. Speaking, Gerlin, this is very important. We don't want Dart started as the idea to divide the web. If you take a look at Dart Wikipedia, you will find very quickly the history of it, and I really love that because Lars Beck created it. Here was this part. Dart initially had a mixed reception on the Dart initiative, has been criticized by some for fragmenting the web due to original plans to include the Dart VM in Chrome. That would be really a disturbing change because it wanted to try to get rid of JavaScript completely. And the idea of that was bad because multiple ways. First of all, it would divide the web. So everything in the browser should work in JavaScript. That is a reason for that. And the reason is because it is performant, lightweight, you can use it everywhere. Every browser supports it. It's not only Chrome, it's Firefox, it's, yeah, there are not so many anymore. I think Firefox and Safari, and are there any more? I think you know more, I guess. But all these browsers And don't come with, I don't know, Brave or something. They are just Chromiums behind, so it's just the Chrome at the end. All these browsers support JavaScript in any case. So the idea is not anymore to replace JavaScript, because if you take a look down here, I think, yeah, those plans were dropped in 2015 with the release of 1.9 Dart to focus instead of compiling Dart to JavaScript. But even if Dart and TypeScript are compiling or transpiling to JavaScript, they still do a better job in the possibility of software architecture, of creating large web projects, and so on and so forth. And under the hood, it's getting JavaScript. And I really don't care about that. It's really good that we can do that. It's just I don't want to write it myself. Hey Abby, nice to see you. Hey Stefan, great to see you. It was a long time, I'm sorry. Oh, you had a hard time. Oh, I'm really happy that you're back on your feet. That's true, Gurleen. If you don't understand TypeScript, you have some problems. But the problem is more that my beginner or junior devs that I have to learn into TypeScript first don't really understand the benefits of it, and then they start like, hey, I can write any there and I can write any there, or I just leave it away and it works too, or hey, unknown is also a possibility. And then you get really crazy, because that takes time as crazy to redevelop those things and also sit inside of the code reviews and explain everything. While Dart, on the other hand, well, you cannot not type it. Even if everything is a var and everything is not really typed, it's getting inferred and everything is fine. And now with the sound null safety, I mean, null safety with sound. So your IDE is shouting at you if you do something wrong. It's fantastic. Oh, you're right. You did? I have not seen yet the JavaScript that is compiled. That's true. I have to admit that. But where can I see that? I think I have a website somewhere, a Flutter website. Ah, yeah. mdweber and .github.io, I guess. So it's not the beautiful website that I ever created, but I think it's also okay if the JavaScript is not fine yet, I guess, as long as it's getting improved. Well, it's pretty difficult to read, right? Do we have any formatter for that? JS formatter? So let's see, beautify code. Do we get something? Boots working deep in the prototypes, okay. Navigator user agents. Yeah. Okay, I cannot say something without really checking that, but I think it's very valuable to have this discussion. And even that Dart delivers another opportunity to discuss about that stuff is really great. I'm really happy with that. The HTML in Flutter is completely something different, I think. This is Flutter panes, right? They draw on the website, as far as I know. So all of these are Flutter glass panes and so on. So this completely works different. Hi, can you talk about how to improve Flutter performance? What should we care when the UI screen and how it affects the performance? Okay, first of all, the easiest thing to improve performance in Flutter applications is to use constants wherever possible. So for example, let's see this icon. You can make it a const. And with that, it is already way more performant. It sounds that easy, but it is, because constants are getting compiled during the build time. And with that, during the runtime, you will have not to re-evaluate this value. So I highly recommend to use as many consts as possible. Try to avoid, of course, any long-running tasks, but in general, the UI of Flutter is very responsive. So don't worry too much about the performance problems until they really appear. So if you get really into performance problems, then you can start with Flutter performance, check which frames don't get rendered well and where the problems happen. Okay, so next, what do we have else? Atif, I have really a mentorship program somewhere down here in the video description or on Gumroad. Maybe you are checking that out. So, what do we have? What would be our pathway if we create a real-time project for hospital? I'm trying to build an app for a whole... Wow, that's very interesting, Mohammed. It will take some time to evaluate, I guess. If you want to have a real-time project, it's always difficult, depending on how fast it needs to answer and so on and so forth. What would be the right pathway? I would go and start identifying what would real-time mean to you. Does it mean in several seconds? Does it mean in 1 hour? Or what is real-time, right? Because if you start with just writing code and so forth, if you are working in the client with Flutter, you are always settled, you have no problems. But as soon as you're going through a server or get some information from a Firebase server back, you will have some kind of delay, right? If you just take the ping, you have nearly 200 milliseconds sometimes that are from the answer to what you are doing at the moment on your client. To work in real time, I at the moment just have the experience with Firebase, which is fantastic because of the streaming, and then you get your data as soon as possible, and I really like that. Painting the UI is not efficient and definitely SEO friendly. That is absolutely correct, and I think SEO is currently not even possible with Flutter Web. And I think there are a lot of discussions happening in Flutter Web in general. So as I said, I cannot compete at the moment with Flutter Web, but it's still in beta, so I really hope my best for the future there. And I think Flutter is also just one framework, right? If you are using, for example, Dart and compile that to JavaScript pure, that's also a complete different topic because there the performance is not too bad, actually. Actually, it's nearly the same. David Fishing, Brandon, okay. Watching from Nepal. Welcome, it's great to have you. I wanted to travel to Nepal, it didn't work, unfortunately. On Laravel e-commerce app. Yep, e-commerce is still one of my topics that I want to do. And using Fastlane, yeah, I want to take a look into the CI/CD topic once more, and I think I'm still thinking about Fastlane or GitHub Actions. Render object render box. I can do that in the future. I will add that in my open video topics, I guess. VS Code Git, that's perfect. Yeah, fruit, no problem. So yeah, the Git integration, or what are the benefits or why I use Android Studio. And this is very important because there are different factions. I think currently they are living free. It's Neo-Vim, VS Code and Android Studio. All of them have their valid opinion, and I really don't want to convert someone into another IDE. For me, Android Studio wins out of some parts. The number one is all files getting indexed. This is a benefit, but also a curse, because it takes more resources, but on the other side, you are way faster with searching, for example, through all files, getting like additional linting. If you search for all, for example, and I search for build, it directly gives me all the files that are inside of the context. So I'm a bit faster here. Additionally, it offers me some more solutions for extraction of methods, extractions of variables, and also all kind of this. So for example, if I want to extract here a method like look, it's done in seconds. And this is in VS Code not by far not that nice, in my opinion. The next thing is the Git integration itself. Well, I actually hate the Git integration inside of Visual Studio Code. But as I said, it's a personal opinion. So if we, for example, start here, the enable the version control system with Git, then you have all the things down here. You have it directly in your sites, have all the parts that you need. And I just got used to it. And since then, I don't want to change my behavior there anymore. Maybe this is also the problem. I'm a bit too old to change my tools. Flutter's acting like SPA. There needs to be a way to server-side rendering, code splitting, and all the... I will try Fastlane, I promise that. And for all this discussion with Flutter and web, I can understand that this is a real Holy fuck, 100 views. Sorry for that. That's impressive. Hey everyone, it's great to have you here. Wow. That's the first time that I have so many viewers. I'm getting a bit stressed, but okay, let's have the session going further. I know this whole discussion on Flutter and web is really opinionated, and I know Flutter is not there where we want to have it yet. So I also read some comments in Reddit, I guess, that the Flutter team shouldn't fool itself and they should drop the web support. But I think this will not happen, actually. It's more the opposite. I think now they started with the web app solution so that you can download the whole things. I think this is also possible with my website already. So that you have an SPA, a PWA, a progressive web app, I think is the name, yeah. So all the Flutter apps are automatically also PWAs. And server-side rendering, I think there's also an issue open, I guess. So server-side rendering. Wow, 100 people, you're driving me crazy. So all of that is already in discussion. And I can really understand if you say Flutter is not yet for me or is not for me because this stuff is not inside. And as I said, I really understand that. It's a gamble at the end. Flutter is always a gamble since I started with it, because as you know, Google maybe, they also have the feeling of dropping stuff sometimes. And Flutter is for me, because I worked with Dart beforehand and I love Dart, it's the right choice. If you say, no, I need server-side rendering, then Flutter is currently not for you. And also with the CEO stuff, it's really very good at mobile development, in my opinion. It's very good and stable nearly, even if it's alpha, on desktop applications, but currently on the web it still struggles. So, should you suggest me as backend? Please, okay, so Atif, if you are a front-end developer and you want to start in the backend, there are fantastic guiding paths. So in backend, I would recommend you to start, I don't know, it highly depends on your skill set, of course. If you don't want to do the backend at all, then search for things like backend as a service. So there are multiple possibilities, and one of the most famous one is Firebase, I guess. If you want to start out with something and want to get fast results, I think Firebase is at the moment one of the ways to go where you can start very quickly a good backend. If you are wanting more to develop it yourself, then I worked in the past with Aqueduct, very hard name for me, but yeah, not this one, this one. It's a multi-threaded HTTP server, which allows you to work with PostgreSQL, and I think it has all the databases that you need, and you can very fast work with that. Also, it is very straightforward. It has a fantastic documentation, and yeah, I was very happy with it. Another possibility is, I think that is Dart Shelf is the name, and this is coming from the Dart team itself. So with that, you can have the web server and the middleware. You can create, how do you call it? Oh, I need to drink something. Deepak, where are you? Why don't you tell me that I have to drink something? Yeah, with Shelf, you have also the possibility to create your own backend. You can connect it with all the different SQL or databases that you want in the background, and it really helps you to connect with that. So also that would be a valid option. You are most welcome. So please explain adaptive layouts in video. All right, I will do that. I'll also add it to my list. I think my list is getting very large. So if I do every week a video, we will have some time till I get all these videos through. So please be patient with me. I'm just one guy. Yeah, getX is one part. I always explain that in my video descriptions if someone asks me for it. I have a very strong opinion against getX. So if I want to make a video for that, I need to make it somehow unbiased, or at least unbiased and as good as possible. And for that, I need to first understand getX in full, which is not that easy, because if you check out getX on pub.dev, it's tremendous. It's huge. It has everything, right? So even this header already tells so many things. It's a state manager, a navigation manager, a dependency manager, and these are very large topics, right? And if you allow all these things to have in one go, it's quite large. So in order to make a video there that is really, how should I say it, professional as far as I want to have it, and with my experience and knowledge, and also understand the topic, I really have to first go deep dive in it and understand it before I give my honest opinion about it. Lower background music, you will get that in a sec. Here we go. Hope it's better now. Sorry for that. Could be Gerlin. I really don't know, to be honest. I started to work a little bit in the Flutter repository, but for me as a, how do you call it? I'm a user of Flutter, right? I'm not really a hardcore inside of the engine living guy, so they have to decide that at the end. And if Google thinks this is a very good idea and they want to invest in it, which currently looks like it, then yeah, I'm the last one who's against it. They should do and try the best. If they can find a solution that is better than the current one, I'm very happy with it. Sir, I want to learn Flutter, aka app development from scratch. Yeah, congratulations, that's a perfect goal for this year. So 2021, create your Flutter journey. Write every month a blog about the things that you have learned. I think Stefan does that also very often in his different possibilities. So, so this is how I started it. If you check out my Medium link, where I created all my different blog posts and that I shared, also on the website, of course, now, but I will show you my Medium for now. When I started with Flutter, I also started by writing some blog posts, and some of them are really funny because like, for example, my first journey on Chingu, and oh, I earned even money for that. Cool. So, but you can see if you have a blog post and you just write your story, how you improve in Flutter, and maybe talk with the Flutter community, because as you see, I publish a lot of them in the Flutter community itself. You will get better. You understand the things better. If you write a blog for that, you want to understand what you are writing, because you don't want to spill out in the public that you don't know a thing. So you will really understand and recreate your understanding about different topics, and getting better in Flutter, you will get better in understanding how this stuff works. And so I highly recommend to do that. What do we have else? From scratch, yeah. Mohit, it's the best idea. If you find a free API, so Mohit is asking if using a web API is good as a first backend. So I think yes. So if you search for a free API, you will find these lists here, for example. And here you will find for nearly all possibilities some kind of API, like for example news. You can get all these different things. You don't need an auth key here, for example, so it makes it even easier. And with that you get your first informations in seconds. And the good thing about that is you can then get these pictures, for example, that you can build into your applications. So, and because the most of them are completely free, you can use them directly from your browser. And this is something that I can recommend you if you want to start up an application and want to just connect with anything where you get data from. This is your way to go, in my opinion. Yeah, so 2 videos a week is a minimum. Yeah, I'm not that good for the YouTube algorithm. I tried today to create a short, and even this didn't work. But you see, we started out with 2 videos a week, but the problem is that currently I'm again in a full-time project till the end of the month, or even till end of March, I guess. So it's hard for me to create 2 videos. It's nearly impossible. I need 1 or 2 days for one video with the research, with understanding what the topic is, with cutting, with delivering, and so on and so forth. So I understand that I disappoint you with 2 videos a week, and I can understand that. But currently I'm doing a live stream and 1 video, so I think that's okay. Something like that will be, it has to be enough. I think edX is better than Provider. Yeah, okay. I cannot give you an opinion to that yet, because as I said, GetX is not on my list of usable packages at the moment. But what I heard is that a lot of companies require knowledge in, I heard that a lot of companies require knowledge in GetX to get started in Flutter. So yeah, I think it makes sense to at least have a read into it. You should change your blog to Medium. I would recommend that actually, because as I said, you can, if you have a very good comment where you also show some valuable information, you can really share it with the Flutter community. And if you get published here, you have a big benefit there. You get also more readers and everything. And I think, yeah, as you see, Simon Lightfoot is inside Nash, who invited me actually into the Flutter community blog. He's a great guy, creates all this stuff. Jay is here or too, and so on. So as you see, there are a lot of fantastic people who are just supporting that Flutter stuff. Hello, Hackerman. Great to see you. Have you checked XO? Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, Minu, that's also a thing that we have to do still. No, not Minu, GitHub. So what Minu is talking about is that tic-tac-toe game that I created for my AI some weeks ago. And he created a fantastic little issue. Whenever you start this game as an AI wars, it will always play exactly the same. And the idea and solution would be to place this X randomly. The question is, do we do that today? And I have to check the clock, and I think it's a bit too short to do that today. I think that we will do that on the next live stream, I guess. I really hope to go also deeper into the AI topic again, because Flutter, Dart, and AI, it's tons of fun, I have to admit. I'm really happy that I started this topic. And my big goal for 2021 is to get better with AI development and to understand more how AI is working. I created already a fantastic cool app that you can also download. And if you check out here, for example, what I really like about this part here is I created a release, and this release is even downloadable in Windows and with an installer. So if you are interested in downloading this fantastic tooling here, please do it and share it on every platform that you like. That you used it, then you can play some tic-tac-toe. I can do that, Deepak. If you are interested in the live streams there, I do that usually on Twitch, but maybe I will do that also on YouTube again. As I said, I have there currently some changing plans. But what I did is I uploaded all the videos for the live streaming. Not here. I uploaded them here. So there is a Flutter live stream topic at the moment where I upload all the AI topics. Maybe I will also integrate them into this channel here, and then we have it at one place. I think that makes sense. But in the meantime, you can have this one. So, all right. So back to me and go away. Good. I think it's on. It's not online at the moment, but maybe this is something that you can create. You can get an issue. I think I released this one as an MIT license. No, not yet, but I will release that as an MIT license. So of course you can just take the code and create a multiplayer version if you want to. At the moment, you can just have local multiplayer. So if you want to increase that, please feel free. It's up to you. Maybe I can do that also right away. How do you... I think you can add a license somewhere here, right? Security deploys actions. Good question. GitHub add license. Navigate to main page above the list of files using add file dropdown. Oh, never seen an add file. Create a new file. Okay, let's call it license.md. So, choose a license template. Fantastic. And I think because I use that, I have to give this with contribution thingy. Anyway, review and submit and go for it. Commit. Yeah, go for it, merge. Okay. So, and with that, you are more than allowed to do everything you want with this file. Then nobody gets problems with it. So, I'm on exam time. All right. Amplify with Flutter. What is amplify? Amplify. From AWS. Oh, now I'm in German here. Can I switch that to English? No, of course not. Espanol. All right. There's a set of tools and services that can be used together or on their own to help front-end web and mobile dev. Building scanner, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I have to admit, I don't have any idea what this is. I've never used it, never seen it. You can also create a backend for that. Oh, that's great. Okay. So it's also a backend as a service at the end. I think it should work fine. You will have to take a look into it. I don't have any ideas. I think it's similar to Firebase, yes. Okay. All right. So I would recommend, or I would say now, we made now a 1.5 hour live stream. It was a fantastic session with all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. 135 viewers on the max time. That is freaking amazing. So if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. If you have anything that I can improve in this channel, please let me know. And if you are very generous, please give this stream a like and be there on Thursday when we have the next session about 12 ideas how to improve as a software engineer. If we see us the next time, maybe on the Flutter 30 days, and else I am really thankful for everything and we will see us the next time. Bye.